Gentlemen, you received my instructions in the dressing room. You both know exactly what I expect. A good, clean fight. Obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck to both of you.
The champion, Joe Smith Jr., in his first world title defense. It starts right now. Christina Poncher and Chris Algier here with you at the Turning Stone Resort and Casino. Joe Smith Jr. gets right to work. Heavy hands. Especially that right hand, Chris.
Yeah, he came right out with double, triple jab, overhand right. Very surprising thing for him to do. I don't like him standing right in front of Joe Smith like that.
Joe Smith fighting out of Long Island. The crowd behind him here in Verona, New York tonight. Geffrard, trained by Kevin Cunningham.
He's got long arms, long reach. He punches really well on the inside. Really, the straight right hand is the real power punch.
All the ability that you want to see in a fighter. He was just waiting for his break, waiting for his chance, and when this call came, it was too good of an opportunity to turn down. There's the right hand, and then he follows it up with the left straight to the body. Geffrard doubling up on the jab, tripling up on the jab, one more.
When you got heavy hands like Joe Smith Jr., you like when your guy's in front of you with his hands up. You're going to punch right through it.
Hooking around that lead left hand is Geffrard, and then back comes Smith.
Joe is a real world-class puncher with both hands. He can knock you out with the left, he can knock you out with the right.
Beterbiev, Kovalev, later Alvarez, Sullivan, Barrera, etc. said by far Beterbiev is the hardest puncher being in there sparring rounds and then facing him here with no headgear.
Yeah, those 10-ounce gloves are very different. There's a big shot from Joe Smith that got through the guard.
And there's the one with the left hand as well. It's Joe Smith who had a good start to this fight despite a few early shots from Steve.
First round, a lot of heavy shots by both guys. Steve Geffrard chose to stand right in front of the champion, Joe Smith Jr. Took a lot of leather, especially toward the end of the round.
Round two, Geffrard starts with the jab. And Joe Smith Jr. starts with the 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
And he's just touching, looking for an opening.
Just like he's doing some bad.
You know, he's known as a vicious, brutal puncher, but he's gotten a lot busier in fights, which he had to do in the Maxime Blasel fight in order to win the title with a late round charge.
But nonetheless, Joe Smith is here as the champion. This is his first world title defense and knows that Geffrard is standing in his way. Possible unification fight with that big Bivol, who's the WBA champ.
You know, all those guys, Desoto Ramirez is there. All those top guys are super talented. I'd like to see Joe in with anyone.
One of the questions we had coming into this fight is how his first fight back after recovering from COVID-19. Temperature was really high. He said his wife begged him, please go to the hospital.
Oh, good right hand there from Geffrard.
Does he invest once again down to the body, and there's a nice left uppercut. It just misses with the right uppercut, Joe Smith does.
Only got stopped once, but he had his jaw broken in that fight.
Got some good power.
Rarely do you see a guy start his career 0-2 and then rattle off 18 wins and then be in a world title fight.
Yeah, Boca Raton, he signs with Golden Boy Promotion. Drops those first two fights, and they part ways. And now here he is.
Hit you on the end of his punch, that's where he has the most power. Like when he knocked out Alito Alvarez, how he dropped Bernard Hopkins.
I just feel like he's kind of standing and waiting a little bit too much. He's not really letting his hands.
Yeah, he's being completely outworked. He does well when he throws, but he's not throwing much.
Three jabs and he lands a good right hand. And then he gets countered by a right hand from Joe Smith and quickly gets those hands right back up in that guard. Again, Smith 3 times with the right hand from Joe Smith. 4 times. Geffrard looks to shoot the uppercut, which lands. And then another chopping right hand.
Hey, when Geffrard lets his hands go, they're sharp, they look hard, but when he throws, he leaves himself open to get clipped like he did against a few seconds ago when Joe caught him. That overhand right has been a consistent weapon for Joe. Oh, nice straight right hand for Geffrard. Not a whole lot of jabs from either man so far.
Yeah, and Geffrard's corner is calling for this thing. Where's your stick? Where's your stick? Looking for that jab.
50, 60 rounds over the years over in the Boca Pal. He's a very talented boxer. He's got a great jab. That being said, I've actually seen both of these guys spar.
enjoy watching Joe Smith's fight with my friends. I mean, he is a fight fan as well as a fighter. With one of his best friends, Erickson Lubin, said, "What do you think? Should I take this fight?" And he said, "Hell yeah."
Both men exchanging there. You know, Steve's fighting out of that peekaboo style, but when he does open up to throw, he leaves openings to get caught.
Round 4 scheduled for 12. Christina Poncher, Chris Algieri coming to you from Turning Stone Resort and Casino. WBO light heavyweight world champion Joe Smith Jr. in his first title defense.
Geffrard trying to catch the overhand right and come back with his own check hook. Here we're seeing him being a little more offensive, leading with his own jab, throw a straight right hand to the body there.
4 rounds, Joe Smith has thrown a total of 247 punches to 176 punches from Geffrard.
That's one of the most impressive things about Joe is his output. A testament to how hard he trains and the conditioning that he comes in.
You hear Kevin Cunningham telling Geffrard, don't go straight back.
And Joe's doing a good job of actually fighting off his back foot. He's jabbing, moving, firing from his movement. A couple extra folds to the game we haven't really seen before. Good right hand to the body there from Geffrard.
Geffrard spent most of the fight with his hands up in that high guard.
Good uppercut there on the inside from Smith.
A good shot, kind of grazed the shoulder of Joe Smith, but that one landed to the body with the right hand for Geffrard, and then back to the body with his own right hand is Joe Smith. Down again to the body with the right hand. Really nice body work here for Joe Smith. That's one way to get him to bring his hands down, right, Chris?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Joe's got a nice bounce going right now. Good lead left hook. Good movement, firing from his movement here.
He's in rhythm right now. He's got Geffrard in some trouble here in round 4. 30 seconds to go. Geffrard's opening up, and Joe Smith is continuing to press forward. He tells him to bring it. I don't know how much more he wants him to bring, but he backs up to the Smith, continues to let go with the right hand. Boom, again with the right hand. Kevin Cunningham made a press on now, saying Joe Smith is tired.
Replay of that fuselage of punches here. Ripping shots, upstairs, downstairs.
Joe Smith's corner, use the jab, keep using the jab, they're saying. There it is.
Geffrard's digging himself. It's as if he's fighting, as if he thinks he's going to stop Joe late. But he's absorbing a ton of punishment on the way there.
Cunningham did tell us, he said, but in the power punch category. Double Geffrard, but not a lot of heat on it. That one got through.
Just not the same power, though,
no.
That's coming from Joe Smith. And that's the thing. When Steve lets his hands go, he looks good. He lands. He looks like he belongs there. It's just too few between. He's never been known for his defense. It's not hard to find, but you got to survive the onslaught. On the hip line there. Those shots hurt.
Now Mark Nelson telling him to keep him up.
Nice hook off the jab there from Joe Smith.
Yeah.
Good change out. Ooh.
That one caught him.
Yeah.
Back up against the ropes is Geffrard trying to move back.
Oh, good uppercut.
Nice left hand from Joe Smith as Geffrard tries to handle the onslaught that is pouring on from Joe Smith Jr. He is holding, trying to walk him back to the ring as Mark Nelson takes a good look, and just teeing off right now is Joe Smith Jr. here in round 10 seconds left.
Ooh, geez, hit him on top of the head. But I believe it was the straight right hand that had Geffrard in all the trouble at the end of the round. Beautiful uppercuts on the inside there. Putting those right through the guard. Picking his punches really well is the champion. What I had said about Joe Smith's power, at the end of his punches is where they're the most dangerous.
There you go. There's a nice combination from see little moments.
Yeah, when he lets his combinations go, he looks like he belongs. It's a one-sided fight.
Yep.
Good body work there. Joe Smith on both sides. Yeah, the openings are there. But he's got to pull that trigger. I still think he's recovering from the last round, though.
But Joe Smith's kind of letting him a little bit.
Geffrard down. which I don't think is a bad tactic. I don't know if Steve has the power to really hurt Joe at this point. Joe is following right now, though. He's not cutting off the ring. There we go. Now he's squaring up, mixing his punches up.
And there's one of the combinations that we were seeing more frequently.
Steve does not want to be on the ropes. It's a bad place to be when you've got Joe Smith Jr. in front of you. Ooh, good dig to the body.
Come on. That was downstairs. Keep him up. It's all right. Keep the punches up, okay?
Let's see the replay.
Got it in the replay.
Oh, no, it's a little low. How's that? Yep, good call,
Let's
Rob.
go.
There's that long, straight right hand again.
Geffrard's corner telling him, don't sit there and wait for Joe Smith to load up. Don't take your time. Come with something of your own or move. That's what they're saying right now. Like, you're sitting there giving him time. Keep him busy. Keep him thinking. Let your stick go.
Joe's actually outboxing him. Steve is fighting very squared up, so he's taking away his reach as well. But he's not in a position to really box.
Yeah, and he has a 2-inch reach advantage on
2-inch height, 2-inch reach.
Yeah, exactly.
But honestly, this is what we saw later Alvarez do as well. He just tried to walk Joe down with his hands up, didn't use his boxing ability. It seems like Joe is taking his time, breaking his man down, waiting for an opportunity to explode. The punch output has changed the last 2 rounds. Seems like he's taking some of the power off and saving it.
Ooh. So Geffrard getting a good right hand in, but then he just takes 3 from Smith Jr.
Yeah, but that uppercut he landed on Joe, very clean on the chin.
Yep.
But Joe takes it well. I don't see him being able to hurt him. Ooh, good right hand from Joe Smith.
And he gets Geffrard back against the ropes again. Cunningham does not want him to be in. There he is with the uppercut. 2 uppercuts. Ooh. 3 uppercuts.
But there's nothing coming back, so Joe has no problem throwing 3 uppercuts in a row.
Oh, nice left hand.
It's like Steve has to take so much damage in order to land a shot that he'd just rather not throw.
Be careful. Obey the bell here. Time.
Something we will continue to keep an eye on as we're here in round 8.
Not for nothing, he's taken a lot of right hands on that shoulder from Joe Smith. Joe's been throwing the overhand right. Uppercut.
Yeah, that has been a beautiful punch from Joe Smith Jr. tonight.
Yeah, when you got a guy fighting at the Peekaboo style, it's a great shot that they just don't see.
He's gone back to it time and time again.
Only really got rocked that 1 round.
There's not enough offense from Steve Geffrard. His corner saying, continue, let's go, keep going, push. He's just not able to execute.
No, and the power differential is evident.
And even just, I mean, he's just like pow, pow, 1-2 right now, Joe Smith, and dropping his hands down. And
Geffrard has been handcuffed all night long.
But if you want to make a statement to the light heavyweight division, to a B-ball or a better B-Ev and unify those fights, I'm not saying that you got to go in here and completely demolish this guy, giving more respect than that to Steve Geffrard, but why not push a little bit more from Joe Smith?
A different fight, one that was going to be a real firefight with someone that was going to fight you back. And then you had 8 days notice. You go through the highs and the lows of thinking the fight's going to be canceled. You don't know if it's going to be a title defense. There's a lot of emotional and psychological weight that comes with where Joe has gotten to be in the ring tonight. I think that shoulder and the arm is really bothering him. Every time Joe hits the arm, it seems to have more an effect than the shots that hit him on the head.
We're talking about Geffrard's left arm, left shoulder.
As you can see,
him wincing, shaking it out a little bit as he walks back to the corner.
That arm is noticeably swollen.
You want me to stop this fight?
And he asked, Kevin Cunningham just asked him, do you want me to stop this fight?
Shit. But you ain't doing absolutely nothing. So
he said he ain't doing expletive, but you ain't doing absolutely nothing.
Round 9. Come on, let's finish it up. This guy never been mine. All right? Let's finish this up. Just do what you're doing. Finish your combinations. Don't look to load up. Just let him go. Yeah. Right? Pick up the pace. Take a little.
And he's asking for ice to be put on that left shoulder.
It looks to me, I can see
we're sitting in his corner. Yeah.
It looks swollen as he walks back to the corner.
Smith actually picked up his punch output in that last round, up to 95 total punches per round. Didn't quite seem like that.
Body language
there,
starting this round does not look good for Geffrard. He doesn't look like he wants to be here anymore.
And I think that Mark Nelson is going to step in right there as it's the first knockdown of the fight here in round 9.
5, 6, 7.
And Kevin Cunningham says the fight is over. He just told the commissioner, that's it. Stop the fight. We are done. And that is a KO victory for Joe Smith Jr.
Because none of those other shots really landed all that hard. I just think that the fight had been beaten out of him at that point. But on the way down, he gets hit with a clean hard shot behind the ear. Those are bad place. That's a bad place to get hit.
"37 seconds of round number 9 by way of knockout. For your winner and still WBO light heavyweight champion of the world, the Beast from the East, Joe